Welcome back to the Knuckle podcast. I don't know what episode this is. I probably should, but I don't. Website mooseknucklepodcast.wordpress.com. It's only me. Figured it has been over 2 months since the last episode me and Luke did. Holidays and such, and no one else wanted to help. They're fuckers. Had to clear my throat there. I know I made an episode by myself before that didn't really go too well, I don't think. Kept running out of breath. But it's a skill I want to develop. I need some filters on this. But it's a skill I want to develop, so I figured I might as well practice. Like I've talked about before, too, I want to try comedy, and I doubt anyone's listening to this, but if they are, they're like, just fucking try it already, okay? Shut up. I wish I could. It's limited opportunities here in Anchorage from what I've found. And I'm always working while those are happening. So, figure this is kind of a way to practice a little bit. Although I doubt they will be funny. It'll probably take a long time until they do. Sorry, I had to burp. Not really sure I'm going to do these. I did it the first time. I had a list of things I wanted to talk about. I do not have that tonight. Figured, I don't know, I've listened to some different podcasts for people. The only one I really found, I know I'm all over, the only one I really found that he really just does it by himself is Bill Burr's. Obviously, he's pretty funny. There's other guys who occasionally do an episode of their podcast on their own, kind of a listener feedback episode, I guess you could say. So I don't know where I fall into that. Hope eventually they'll get funny. That's kind of the point. Trying to practice. But, I don't know. I'll just try it. We'll see what happens. I'm sure I'll get better eventually. That's what I was going to say. So, I wanted to have a podcast. Kind of figured it out. But, have lost motivation lately. And been inconsistent. And I know it's hard to get listeners if you are inconsistent, and so I'm going to try to be more regular about episodes. Haven't decided if I'll be able to do one a week on my own. Not that I don't have the time, it's just, like I said, I'm trying to develop this skill, so we'll have to see how that goes. Okay, back. Sorry, I had to pause that for a second. Had to figure something out. I really hope this is recording. What was I talking about? Oh, being consistent, motivation. Okay, yeah, that's it. So for at least this episode, I was going to talk about motivation overall, I think. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. Because basically, I realized, January? It's almost February. So I'm very close to being 32. I did finally buy a house, although I don't live in it yet, because it needs some repairs. I finished college. I have a decent enough job. But I do not see myself as successful in any way. And there's probably a good, not a good deal, but there's some people who probably wish they were in my position. You know, had what I had, or have, not had. And I just don't see it that way. I wouldn't say I see myself as a failure, but I do not see myself as successful in any way. I see myself as rather mediocre. I guess I am trying to better myself, though, you know, going to school for engineering, but I don't really know if that's what I want to do. I don't really know where I'm going with this. I'm just going to skip to another part I was thinking about. Oh, I remember now. So I read an article, I don't know, a while ago on Lifehacker. You should check them out. They're mostly computer related stuff, but they got all types of stuff on there. Anyways, it was about how, I forget the age it said, I think it was titled why, or what was it? Is it how? Oh yeah, it's why most people have given up by 25. And it was kind of along the lines of what I was talking about, what I have accomplished that I do not feel as anything significant. It said people kind of fall into a path and then just go along this path, and they kind of let themselves be led. Just they react to everything. They're not proactive, basically. And what was that quote? I do not remember the movie. I did check it out, but it was Brian Callen talked about it on The Fighter Than Kid. It's some part of I think it's the end of the movie. This guy was like a mob informant, or he was in the mob or some. No, whatever, not important. But basically, his wife says, "How could you let this happen to you?" And he says, "Baby, I've let my whole life happen to me." And that was kind of the summation of the article, is people get in this path and they think, oh, well, this is, well, maybe no, that's the point. They don't think, they just, oh, this is what I'm doing now. But they don't even think that. They just kind of fall into it, and whatever happens, happens. You know, you get your normal progression. If you stick it out, you know, you probably get some raises, maybe some promotions. Who knows what happens, right? You're not a drain on society, but essentially by the time you were 25, you were, you know, probably finished with school, maybe a year or two into your job, or you're getting married, thinking about having kids, or you had kids, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. So you kind of just get stuck in this rut, I guess, because you're not looking ahead. Hold on 1 second, it's fucking hot in here. Okay, I had to turn my heater off. What was I saying? Oh, you kind of get into this path that you didn't proactively choose, and you just go through it, and it's kind of how your life plays out, whether or not it's what you would have chose. So I've been thinking about that lately, and you know, trying to find some motivation. I guess one thing that motivates me a lot. Hold on 1 second again. Keep getting text. Should probably ignore them. Try and focus on this. Talk with my monotone voice. I'm working on that too. Figure if I practice more, I'll get better with inflection or something, or, you know, just less nervous. I don't know what it is. I'll figure it out. What the fuck was I talking about? Motivation and a path. I don't remember exactly. But, you know, is it the definition of Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, and expecting a different result. And I think kind of the opposite of that is a good way to think about life. If you just keep doing the same thing year in and year out, how do you expect your life to be any different? Yeah, you'll get, like I said earlier, raises, maybe you get a promotion or something, but it's not going to be significantly different. We always, I guess it's kind of part of the American dream, oh, get a good job, get a house, white picket fence, blah, blah, blah. But really, the most successful people, and I don't necessarily mean wealthy successful, I mean successful in the sense that they are doing something they are passionate about and can make a living at, had to take a risk at some point. But all of our schooling and upbringing teaches us usually, oh, go the safe path. It'll work out. Go the safe path. But that's not always true. And, one thing that's helped me, I love just different quotes and stuff. And I love listening to podcasts. That's very motivational for me to hear. People who have found something they want to do and not necessarily hear their struggles, but how they've overcome things, like kind of how you work things out. But what I was saying about, taking the safe route, that is a good example. Jesus Christ, none of that made sense. Good example of that was I forget where, but Jim Carrey gave a commencement speech, and he was talking about his father. And he talked about how his dad was a funny guy that always played it safe and became an accountant, I believe he said. And after I don't know how long, but a certain amount, it sounded like Jim Carrey was young or a teenager. He lost his job, they lost their house, so on and so forth. And basically took him a long time to get back on their feet. And he said, his dad was a funny guy too, which I could see as him being funny, kind of. Well, I guess it doesn't always have to run in families, but it does seem like it comes from somewhere. But he said, what was the point? He played it safe and then regretted never trying. And was also, at the time afraid to try because he didn't want to fail. Didn't want to fail. And Jim Carrey points out, well, ultimately he ended up where he didn't want to be, where he feared most, jobless, without a home, struggling to survive. And he decided, younger, that was a distinct possibility if he had tried to be a comedian. So essentially, Jim Carrey's final words were, try, because you're gonna fail. So why not fail doing what you want to do instead of failing at something you don't want to do? So hearing something like that, I don't know, just makes me think about my life and where I'm going if I don't actively change something. I don't know what I would change or what I necessarily want to do. I don't know. I guess that's not a good place to be at my age, but I guess it's also good to be uncomfortable and want to work towards something. I guess in general too, I'm a worrier, not warrior. I worry a lot. I don't know if that's good or bad. It does have me constantly, well, I guess it is bad because I worry a lot, I'm very prone to not take any risks. kind of the opposite of what I was just talking about. Or not the opposite. I guess I would fit into that mold. Don't risk anything. Just play it safe. Go the path. But because of that, I've been getting, less and less fulfillment lately out of work. It's not a career field I wish to spend an extensive amount of time in, but it's already been, I don't know, we're getting close to 10 years, maybe 8 years or so. That's a long time. Long enough. Or maybe not. Sorry, I'm adjusting here. So, because of that, I went back to school. I was like, can't do this the rest of my life. Also, I don't know, kind of health conscious. I'm not a nut about it, but I realized I did not want to work in a field, IT or telecom, or whatever you want to call it, computers, where I'm regularly woke up in the middle of the night to fix issues, just constantly having your sleep interrupted. I just don't see a very long-term healthy benefit from that, and sitting at a desk at least 8 hours a day, if not longer. Although my job did get standing desk, so that's a positive, I guess. But I just saw, I don't know, my job slowly killing me. But I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. So, how does that all relate to motivation? Oh, I was going to say one other thing about being afraid, I guess. Tim Ferriss did a podcast with Jamie Foxx. It was very good. I think if you kind of want to learn about, see what a real work ethic is, and just a good, genuine dude, listen to that. But he had a saying, I guess he always says to his daughters, and he says, what's on the other side of fear? Basically, if you don't try, or how do I say this? What's on, you tried it and you failed, or you were embarrassed or whatever, so what? It's probably not as bad as you thought it was going to be. And I don't know, that just kind of spoke to me too. I definitely like to listen to podcasts as motivations, but I've been thinking I need to find something else to kind of help me. I definitely like working out too. I have less time with that with school, so I try and do my little mini workouts at home every, at least a couple times a week. It definitely helps, stretching like that too. Helps with the stress relief, I guess you could say. But I've been thinking a lot about when I wake up. I kind of feel like every day I wake up, I'm just like, ugh, fuck. Not like depressed, but not a positive outlook. Not looking forward to the day. I'm like, all right, let's do this kind of thing. So I've been thinking, should I try and pick maybe specific songs to help motivate me? I don't know. Other thing too is I need when I wake up, I need half an hour to adjust. I just don't want to talk or really hear anything. Just kind of slowly wake up for half an hour, then I'm awake and I'm good to go. So that's a tough part too. But I don't know, I was feeling like music could be a good choice. Like. I sure do say that a lot. But I say that a lot too. And make that noise a lot. Or not that noise, but that noise that's closer to it. What the fuck? Where was I going with that? I don't know. I'll just make noise into a mic until no one's probably hearing this, so it doesn't even matter. It'll disappear into the ether of the internet. But that's what I say. So if I maybe, I don't know, make some type of playlist so when I'm on the way to school or work or something, you know, kind of put myself in a specific mental attitude for whatever I'm about to go try to accomplish. I'm not really sure how I'm going to accomplish that, but that's kind of a vague idea I have at this point. What else do I want to talk about? I don't know. I think that was kind of it as far as motivation. I know that wasn't the greatest ending, but I don't know. Just kind of seeing how these are going to go. I was about to say so again, or without further ado, what am I, Joe Rogan? No. Oh, there you go. That sparks some. What am I, Joe Rogan? No. But I do not think it's a bad idea to find somebody you admire and essentially try to be like them. You're never going to be them, so you have to realize that going in. That would be a very odd thing. Just be weird. Oh, I'm going to be this. No, you're not going to be that person. But to be your version of what you like about them, I think is a very good idea. Like, Jesus, like again. Sorry. But pick what you like. That one was acceptable. About them, and try to integrate those aspects into your own life. I don't think that's a bad idea. Kind of pick an archetype. Is it archetype or archetype? I don't know. I'm an idiot. I don't know shit about English. Give me some math. Archetype, that's what it is. Or I don't know. Google it and email me, somebody. Let me know. I don't know the difference between there and there, okay? So how the fuck am I going to figure out archetype and archetype? Okay? Give me a goddamn break. But pick kind of a model and go towards it. You know, you have to constantly re-energize yourself in terms of motivation. Or I think you can get into what I was talking about, that life hacker article. You just get into this, I think pattern's a better word than rut, because rut, you kind of know you're stuck, but in a pattern you don't. It just feels normal, and normalcy can kind of be the death if you do not put yourself in a progressive normalcy, I guess you could say, in a place you constantly have to get better, change, adapt, or no, that's it. There's no or. Change, adapt, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Or you don't, and you think I'm an idiot. That's fine. I don't really know what else I got. I think I'm just gonna keep this one as is. I don't know in the future if I'm gonna wander more or if I'm gonna stick to one topic. I will definitely try to stay more consistent with these. Moose Knuckle Podcast at wordpress.com. I don't know. I'm just gonna try to get better, you know, make these better. Hopefully they'll be more entertaining. I do listen to a lot of stuff. So maybe, like I talked about a few different, I guess I talked about one podcast, specifically the Tim Ferriss with Jamie Foxx. But maybe I can drop some nuggets in that you guys would want to check out. Hopefully it will become funnier in the future. No promises, you know, you gotta start somewhere. Moose Knuckle Podcast at wordpress.com. I do not know the episode number, but thanks for listening.